Hey everybody, Doofus Bob here, and this is episode. I actually don't know what episode this is. We did, I think, two, maybe three episodes where we were just cutting the ridges, and I got them placed out here. We haven't done the back one here yet. Yep, that one. Just because I haven't decided what shape I want it yet, and it's not a critical piece anyway. But we will get to it. um, so this episode is about the glaciers, which that was in a title of maybe the third episode, and I didn't get to it. Then my channel manager Donut was just losing his mind. He's like, "You're making too many videos on ridges, not getting enough views." Well, I really wanted to get into how we cut these because they're the underlying texture, and then everything we put on top is going to reflect based on that texture. So all these cuts and stuff here, which we're probably going to do some more. So what he told me to do, and I think it's a good idea, is we're going to make some shorts, okay? And we're going to do a lot of those. And I'm just going to be cutting stuff and placing it. It'll be this same build, but there'll be a lot of shorts, and especially with the holidays coming, we'll try to release one or two shorts a week here. But let's talk about this part here, right? We got to shape this out. So you can see a little dark line here, and I'm going to pick up the camera and walk around here in a minute. Try to keep it steady because I'm not very good at that. Glaciers, or the surface of this. Now we know that these ridges inside are rock, so we're going to paint them kind of we'll start with a black, a light black, and then we'll probably paint them some blues and some reds and some browns and stuff, and then go over that with maybe some lighter browns and light blacks, and just keep layering until we get kind of a rocky look. If you look at the scenes from Empire, which are at the beginning of every video for this build, the underlying rock and stone is black. Now, a lot of those scenes are from where the actual glacier areas on Earth where they filmed all these. And so we're going to do something like that, and then we'll have to put the snow on top, right? But the actual ground that they're walking on, like at a distance, it kind of had a frozen lake look. And then depending on where the speeders were flying over, kind of had a glacier look, like it was a moving, well, it wasn't moving at the time, but glaciers move and then they stop and then they move and they stop, or they move very slowly. And then close-ups where the at was walking, it just looks like it was walking in maybe a rocky ground that was just maybe had 3-4 feet of snow. So what are we going to do here? Okay. Remember, we have two 1-inch layers here. This is 1.5 inches. I think it's 1 inch. So we got to put our trenches in. But if I do the trenches first and then start carving the glacier, it's going to look weird, right? So we'll do the glaciers first. And I'll put up some pictures of glaciers. Here, put some pictures right here. So like if you look at this one, you'll see it's not straight. And then maybe you look at this one, you can see the glaciers, like water, take the path of least resistance. So now, looking back here, I drew a line. The glacier is going to start here, go over there. I mean, it's probably coming from way back there somewhere, but we're going to go like this, come around. It's going to split, and go off in that direction and then in this direction. So let me grab the camera. Okay, so you can see we're in the back now. It's going to come around this way, curve probably that way. So as if, it was probably going in this direction, but then it hit some resistance and it turned and came around this way. And it's going to come down, it's going to split right there. And then it's going to come down this way. And then it's going to go towards where the shield generator is, but go off in that direction there. And then this one is going to come here. And you can see I was going to start going this way. But that's towards, this is where let me get this out the way. This is where the door for Echo Base will be. So I just turned it and had it come down this way. Okay? So we can start. I kind of want to start from the far side and kind of work this way. So we got some tools here. This is a wire brush. It's pretty stiff. Got a serrated knife here. This is a drywall. Dang it, well, I forget the actual name for this, and I was just thinking about it. Anyway, this is for cutting drywall. So it's very sharp, and it's got the sharp tip there. And if you it doesn't take much effort to push this in the drywall and then cut it. It's just a drywall saw, I think. We got a wire brush that's small, a medium-sized one, and then we got our utility knife and a box cutter. Oops, down here. Okay? Probably going to use a combination. So ice flows are jagged, right? It's not like water. It's frozen water, but it's not jagged. And if you ever seen them, they're following a path, then they freeze. They follow a path, and they freeze. And then some of them are moving very slowly. So if I start here and just start, roughing up the texture and going that way, okay? All right, you see what's happening here? I'm gonna try to get a little bit closer here for you to see, but this little wire brush here allows you to kind of, it's a bit more movable on the surface versus if I was doing like a utility knife, like you can do this, but the lines here, let's do this. That line is very thin, and you'll be here all day just doing this. With this, look, we got some deep gouges. If I turn it sideways, the gouges are deeper. So glacier flows are not small. Now, safety tip here. There's a lot of little bits here. So if you're kind of sensitive respiratory wise, go ahead and wear a dust mask. I think I actually have one here somewhere, but I'm okay for now. There's no fans blowing, so it's nice. It's all just falling right here. Okay? So we're going to keep following that path. Now, as it's coming around this way, I kind of want it to spread out a little bit. It's okay if they're walking on a glacier. It's frozen. I mean, there's more chances of crevices and whatnot, but for this build, it's not something I'm worried about. It's fantasy, right? We're not worried about real life too much. Okay. Got a lot of little mess going on here. It's okay. So when I had it flat like this, you saw what it was doing. But then when I turned it on the edge, I got these deeper gouges that you can see here. Now, then we can take this and just kind of, let's see what it does here. So it's catching. Now, we are going to cover this stuff up, but it's going to be a very thin wash layer. Layers of paint, but all that should get into these crevices. So it's okay to go deep, okay? And we kind of want it to. So I'm just going to keep doing this. Hold on. Okay, so there we go. I'm going to try to hold the camera here. We're following along here. We're going to have to vacuum all these little bits up. So let's just keep going in this direction. So you'll notice, like right here, you've got a shiny spot. And that's kind of a spot that we didn't really go over much. And then over here, we gouged in really good. And that's what you want. Okay, it's not, if you ever walk in your yard or been in a really heavy snow area, it's not all one texture, right? We got a lot of different shapes going on, depths, everything, nooks and crannies and all that stuff. So now we're at the point where I'm not sure how this is going to go. So we're going to learn this one together. Okay? Because I'm at the edge here. And I feel like I'm going to end up gouging some of the edges off. And if that's what happens, well, we're about to learn. Okay? So here's a trench. It moved on us. I'm probably in the way, so I'm going to turn it this way. So you see, I'm kind of making it split off now. In order to make it split, we're probably going to have to put something here. Like maybe this ridge we'll put, make sure I'm in frame here. Here we go. So this ridge here, we might get a thin piece and put it over here like a ledge or something, and we'll build the trenches around it. It's a little hard, but let me draw that in. So we're gonna extend this ridge probably like that. Now I'm not going to build a big one here. It's real shallow. Kind of so there's probably a layer of granite or something underneath that is causing the glacier to split and go in different directions. Probably a little bit more geology than you wanted. Okay, just making sure we're in frame. And I think I'm going to have this glacier here that's moving off the top. I'm going to thin that out a little bit. Let me come to the other side. Okay, so we're back on the other side. And let's see. I'm going to come around. That is nice and non-uniform. So you can see it's kind of it's spread out and squished back up and then spread out again. And we can make it just kind of go off seam like this. There we go. And then let's go look at this one. That is a bright light. Let me fix that. Okay. See, I could cut this part out for you, but if you, I suggest you start a YouTube channel yourself and make a video about something you want to show and see that it ain't perfect, but this is my hobby and this is what we're doing. So we're gonna come in here, and this one I kind of want to go off in this direction. And that's it. So we kind of got a pretty good idea of how our glaciers are going to be. Probably shouldn't be talking while I'm doing this, but all right. So this is roughly what I was aiming for. Initial texture here on the surface. And one of the reasons we want to do this first is because now look, all this texture, where's my brush? Here it is. Going to be a lot of vacuuming here. So this texture, when I go and cut into the trenches now, it'll flow and get interrupted by the trenches that the rebels are going to cut here. And that'll look pretty nice. That'll look nice. So is the texture deep enough? Not yet. Not yet. But I don't want to make a 2-hour video. So like I said, this is the initial path of the glacier here. And from here on, I'm probably going to make a bunch of shorts and showing just what we're going to be doing. Because it's going to take a little bit of work. And I could make probably a 4 or 5 hour video of me just working on this. And it's going to take some time. So I kind of felt like when I was doing the ridges, I did 2 or 3 episodes where I was just making ridges, and it's very repetitive, but it takes a minute. It takes a minute to do this. Okay. So, so how deep do I need to go on this? As I mentioned earlier, we're going to be painting on this. And we got some tools that we can go fairly deep. So let me just show you something here real quick. Let's say one of the trenches comes here. Here's that little hill we're going to put over here. But if I just want to cut just a piece of trench out, just give you an idea. Oh, let me move this guy. Okay, let's just cut a little bit here. Watch your hand. Okay. There we go. I just want to dig a little bit in there just to give you a little initial idea of what I'm going to be doing. So when we go to dig the trenches, it's going to be something like that. And after we put the snow and the plaster stuff over it, that's when I have to break out the brushes and fine tune it. But the point of that was that now I can go over it a little bit more. Put that back. And we probably have to go deeper. Let's get some deep gouges. So I'm turning it sideways. Okay. Now watch this. Okay. All right. So now look at that. Let me see if I can get a close up of this. We want texture, right? So let me see if I can get, there we go. So get a load of that. See, we went up and down and then went from the side. And once you imagine that we put some deeper lines in there, you get some really good texture going. All right, everybody. So this is episode, let's see, what's this? 1, 2, 3, 4. This 4 or 5. I'm sorry. Between work and the gaming channel and a few other things, and it's coming close to Christmas. I've lost track of some things here. This is the first of the Glacier, and my hope is that between here and maybe into January, we're just going to release some shorts and kind of step by step what I'm doing. Okay. And after the glaciers are done, and we're going to rough up some other stuff here. We don't need to do too much because that's where the drywall. Then we're going to have to dig the trenches. And then I think we'll be ready to paint. We need to finish our ridge back there in the back corner. All right. I hope you're enjoying it. I'm working on this about once or twice a week, maybe a little, maybe just once a week in here in November and beginning of December. Like I said, busy times, and we're gonna just take our time and get this done because I want it to look very nice. Okay. All right. Hey, check out my gaming channel if you're into Tales of the Shire. It's a Lord of the Rings based cozy game. And then I started a Skyrim mod pack called Novus Ascension V version 5. I only got about 4 episodes into that when Novus V6 Awakening, the next version, came out of beta. So I had to delete the version 5 because it was about what 2,500 mods, and V6 is 3,500 mods. It's huge, half a terabyte. So I think we've uploaded the first episode by the time you see this one. Check that out. And if you're into Skyrim and RPG games, and if you got enough room on your PC, I definitely recommend that. I've only been playing maybe about 4 or 5 hours of it, and it is just a lot of fun. Just a lot of fun. It's a great immersion package. So like and subscribe. Tell your friends. Anybody that's looking to build some snow terrain or Star Wars tabletop, tell them to check out my channel. And I will see you next time. See you later, everybody.